Hello and welcome to Batman Europe for our Winter 2022 British Railway announcements. The traditional modelling season is in full swing now, and the highlight of the season is the Worley National Model Railway exhibition. Batman are proud to sponsor this event, and we're all very excited to be returning to the NEC Birmingham later this month, where you'll be able to see all of the models that we announced today on display during the Worley show. First though, before we take a look at those new items for Winter 2022, let's have a quick recap of what's been going on since our last British Railway announcements. Our exhibition team has been busy indeed over the last few months, with visits to the Northampton District Model Railway Club's annual exhibition, the Engage Show, the Folkestone Model Railway exhibition, and most recently the Hinckley Model Railway Show. The team are out again this weekend and heading east to Spalding. Long regarded as one of the best regional model railway events, this show returns to the Springfields Events Centre for the first time since 2019. Our final outing for 2022 will be to the Worley Show. Again, the first time the event has taken place since 2019, we're thrilled to be returning and we'll be pulling out all the stops to put on a great display for you all. The Batman Collectors Club Members Lounge is back, offering Collectors Club members a relaxed space where you can escape the hustle and bustle of the busy show, chat to members of the Batman team and inspect the latest developments from all of your favourite Batman brands. Alongside the Batman Collectors Club area, you will find our information point where the team will be on hand and happy to answer any questions or simply discuss all things Batman. Finally, we welcome back respected modellers Peter Marriott and Paul Rice, who will be offering hands-on demonstrations of Woodland Scenics products all weekend. Hornby Magazine recently revealed the winners of its annual Hornby Magazine Awards, and two Batman products came out on top in the readers' vote. The Graham Farish Class 319 and 769 multiple units took top prize in the N-scale category, whilst for 009, the Batman narrow gauge double fairley locomotive was crowned the winner. We'd like to say a big thank you to all the Hornby Magazine readers who took the time to vote for our products. The Batman Collectors Club Members' Day returned at the start of September. Held at the Dean Forest Railway, members enjoyed train rides, behind-the-scenes tours, lunches, and even got the chance to try their hand at driving a Class 08 diesel shunter. This free day out is just one of the many benefits available to all Batman Collectors Club members, so if you're not already a member, why not join today and be ready to secure your free ticket for our next event. Whilst we're on the subject of the Batman Collectors Club, let's take a look at the new limited edition models that feature in the winter edition of the Batman Times. Announced during the Members' Day was Class 08 number 08818 Molly in GBRF livery, and Molly is available now in both N and 00 scale, with the N scale model also available with sound fitted. Today we can also reveal this stunning model of Class 47-4 number 47845 County of Kent. Resplendent in Virgin Trains livery, this model uses the all-new Batman Branch Line 00 scale Class 47 tooling and is available now in standard, sound fitted and sound fitted deluxe format. A second 00 announcement comes in the form of this dancehall brake van, depicting the van in departmental use as a crane mess van with its distinct olive green livery and yellow wraparound ends. Finally, our next model for N-scale is the BR Mark 1 BG, which is now available in the beautiful maroon and cream livery of Northern Belle. All of these models are in stock and can be purchased by club members straight away. Just head over to the club website where you can make your purchase or join the club and start your journey today. On a sunny day in October, we headed over to Norfolk to carry out a trio of presentations, starting at the Whitwell and Reetham Railway Station, home to the sole surviving Diagram 1559 dancehall brake van, the subject of the new 00 scale model that we announced in August. We presented the first model off the production line to the owners of the real brake van, who have lovingly restored it back to its original SECR condition, matching the new branch line model. The North Norfolk Railway was our next destination, and here we presented the Batman Branch Line model of BR Standard 4MT260 number 76084 to Richard Bonnet, director of the 76084 Locomotive Company Limited, who own the preserved loco. Whilst number 76084 was in fine fettle and hauled the service trains during our visit, a 10-year overhaul is on the horizon, and so the owning group has joined forces with Batman to raise funds to help towards this, by selling the branch line model via the North Norfolk Railway's Sheringham Station shop. Our third and final presentation was that of a cheque for £1,000, which was handed over to the North Norfolk Railway at Weybourne Station. The donation follows the successful release of Bachmann Scenicraft models depicting Weybourne Road Bridge and Weybourne Water Crane and Tank. Bachmann have long been supporters of railway preservation and heritage sites, which do so much to inspire and nurture the next generation of enthusiasts. New arrivals over the past 3 months have included several brand new tooling projects in 00 scale. The first of the all-new Class 37s from Bachmann Branch Line have arrived, including models featuring the award-winning Soundfitted Deluxe specification, while several other versions are arriving as we speak to complete our initial offering. New coaching stock has come in the form of the Bullard coaches, although the trio in Southern Railway Malachite Green livery has been delayed due to a numbering error, and these will now be released, with correct numbers of course, next year. Our second tranche of all new award-winning Class 47s have also been released, and there are 6 liveries to choose from. As we've seen, the Dancehall brake vans have arrived too, and the Southern theme continues with new versions of the Class 419 motor luggage van, plus the standard 5MT steam locomotive, which is modelled as one of the Southern allocated locos, number 73118 King Leo de Grance. In N scale, the upgraded Class 60s have arrived, and these feature Next 18 DCC decoder sockets, a pre-fitted speaker plus directional and cab lighting. Sound-fitted versions of each will be arriving in the coming months too. Our special 50th anniversary collector's pack, featuring Class 60 number 60002 Graham Farish, is now making its way to retailers, whilst the second round of sales area exclusive models, featuring 4 Class 08 diesel shunters, is now available, again with sound-fitted versions to be released soon after. Let's delve into our new announcements for winter 2022, and we kick off with EFE Rail. We have 2 new 00 scale models for you today, starting with the BRZCA Sea Urchin Open Wagon. These ballast and spoil wagons will be produced in EWS livery with EWS branding, in pristine, lightly weathered and heavily weathered condition, and in EWS colours but with DB Schenker branding applied, again with a pristine, lightly weathered or heavily weathered finish. Next we have these delightful LSWR cross-country coach packs. Featuring new tooling for EFE Rail, each 3-coach pack comprises 2 brake thirds and a composite. Presented as a book set, there are 3 options to choose from, with set number 253 modelled in SR Malachite Green livery, set number 130 in BR Crimson, and set number 314 in BR Southern Region Green. Each individual coach is numbered according to the set it forms, and the set number is applied to the brake end of each brake third vehicle. Moving on to Scenicraft, and we have 2 new O-scale editions for winter 2022. Like all Scenicraft products, these are finely detailed, hand-painted models, which are ready to place on your layout or diorama straight out of the box. The servicing point has long been popular in the smaller scales, and now we're delighted to offer this in O-scale. Very imposing it is too. Continuing the depot theme, the Shunter's mess room will provide crew with a welcome space to take a break between duties. In N scale, we have several railway structures, starting with this corrugated goods shed, the highly stationed cattle dock, and a model of Helston engine shed. The brick lineside hut has universal appeal, whilst this weighbridge is of a relatively modern design. Aidensfield Garage will be familiar to fans of the TV period drama Heartbeat, whilst these rendered workers' cottages will look even better when 2 or more are joined together. Low relief offerings come in the form of these modern townhouses, and the low relief station hotel. Or for a different kind of accommodation, why not add the Musketeer caravan to your layout or diorama? Finally, for N scale, the dry stone walling and gates makes a welcome return. For 00 scale, we welcome back the carriage shed, which appears in a new grey colour scheme. Whilst new colours have also been applied to this impressive low relief block of flats. The Shunter's mess room returns to the 00 range, and whilst we're on the subject of facilities, this station master's head will ensure station staff are not caught short. The Wigmore Holt concrete platform is a new addition which will suit a bay platform application, and the ballast bins, found lineside right across the UK rail network, also return. Completing the Scenicraft announcements this winter, we have some more 4mm scale models. However, there's a distinct narrow gauge flavour to these as they depict the Festiniog Railway's Harbour Station in Portmellow. Comprising 3 separate structures, Harbour Station Main Hall, Harbour Station Booking Office, and Harbour Station Gents and Office, the trio will be available in two colour schemes of green and white or red and cream. These buildings are just perfect for creating a layout or diorama on which to run your Batman narrow gauge models. For Graham Farish this winter we start with a diesel duo. Two Class 20s will be available, number 20064 River Sheaf, sporting disc head codes and decorated in its distinctive livery of green with red soul bar. The second example is number 20172 Redmire, this time in BR Blue with red soul bar, white cab roof and complete with Thornaby Kingfisher motif. This example sports head code boxes. For the Class 31 fleet we welcome Class 31-1 number 31309 Cricklewood in its BR Blue livery, complete with the white stripe that was applied by its namesake depot as a throwback to the livery applied to Class 31s when new. Cricklewood is also available with sound fitted. Class 31s are the subject for our next round of sales area exclusive models too, with 4 models available for you to seek out via retailers in each of the respective areas of the country. Each of the quartet is available with sound fitted, using a Zemo sound decoder which will provide realistic sounds when used on both analogue and DCC. First up is refurbished Class 31-4 number 31466 in EWS livery. Available from retailers in South Yorkshire and Humberside, the East Midlands, the East of England and Kent, the maroon and gold scheme of EWS sits very well on this Class 31. Another refurbished loco, although this time a Class 31-1, number 31130 Calder Hall Power Station, appears in BR Rail Freight coal sector colours, and this model is exclusive to retailers in Scotland, the North East and North West of England and North Yorkshire. For the West Midlands, Wales, Ireland, the Isle of Man and counties including Buckingham and Berkshire, we have refurbished Class 31-4 number 31423 Jerome K. Jerome in BR Intercity Main Line livery. Our final model depicts another refurbished Class 31-4 number 31407 in the vivid blue livery of Mainline Freight. 31407 is available from retailers in the south of England. For details of the specific areas from which each model is available, please check the Batman website, and if you are unsure, check with your local Batman retailer to see which model they are stocking. Kicking off our Batman branch line announcements this winter, we are proud to present the Western Pullman Sound Fitted Train Pack. This majestic model was born from the Batman branch line Midland Pullman, a multiple award winner including being named Model of the Decade in 2020. And this new pack accurately depicts the Midland units following their transfer to the Western region. Exquisitely decorated in the iconic Pullman livery of reverse blue and grey, this 6-car unit features 2 motorised power cars, each fitted with its own Zemo sound decoder to provide sophisticated, synchronised sounds from each power car whether you're running on analogue or DCC. What's more, directional lighting, interior saloon lights and lighting in the leading end cab, with auto off when moving, all comes as standard. When used on DCC, 28 independent sound and light functions can be enjoyed, including the operation of the individual table lights fitted inside each of the 6 cars. Let's continue the multiple unit theme and look at the new Class 158 DMUs arriving this winter. The branch line Class 158 2-car unit comprises 2 motorised vehicles, but just a single Plux22 DCC decoder is required to operate the whole train on DCC. Fit a decoder or opt for a sound fitted model which comes with a Zemo sound decoder pre-fitted, and on DCC you can enjoy directional lights with day and night mode options, interior lights, cab lights prototypically at the trailing end, and door interlock lights. Even on analog control, the directional lights, including day and night mode, and interior lights can be enjoyed and switched on or off via the switches underneath. What's more, all models come with 2 speakers pre-fitted, one in each vehicle. Our new trio of models is headed by number 158761 in BR Provincial Express livery. Next we have number 158901 in the red and cream scheme of West Yorkshire Passenger Transport Executive Metro. Completing the trio for now is number 158729 in the unmistakable blue, white and silver livery of ScotRail Saltire. Next, we bolster the steam fleet with two new LNER 262 tanks. The V1 class appears as number 7684 in LNER lined apple green livery, whilst V3 class, number 390, is finished in LNER black livery with red lining. Moving to the Midland region, and the Fairburn tank returns, offered in BR line black livery with British Railways wording on the tank sides for the first time and numbered 42107. Arriving at the same time is the previously announced model of number 2245 in LMS black. Things are getting heavy now as we move up to the WD 280 heavy freight locomotives, and we are delighted to offer these characterful locos with sound fitted for the first time. First we depict a locomotive in wartime use, number 77196 in War Department khaki green livery. After the war, many of the WDs would go on to be worked by British Railways, and representing the BR fleet is number 90074, carrying the late BR crest with an authentic weathered finish. The heavy freight theme continues with the award-winning Batman Branch Line 9F, which has been through the works and now comes with the option of sound fitted for the first time. To facilitate this new feature, the 9F now sports a Plux 22 DCC decoder socket with a pre-fitted speaker in all models. The powerful 5-pole motor ensures the Branchline model will haul the heaviest loads, and other features include sprung buffers and an adjustable tender drawbar, whilst the face of the locomotive is framed by the metal smoke deflectors. Two new models will appear with number 92010 in BR black with early emblem, whilst number 92184 carries the BR late crest. Both are coupled to BR1F tenders. The duo is joined by sound-fitted versions of the two previously announced 9Fs, which are also arriving this winter. These being number 92069 with early emblem and weathered finish, and Preserve Loco number 92212 in pristine condition with BR late crest. Our final main range announcement for Batman Branch Line this winter sees the LNER Thompson coaches released in the popular BR maroon colour scheme. No fewer than 5 vehicle types are modelled, and each will be available with 2 different running numbers so that an authentic train can be formed quickly and easily. The 5 vehicles appearing in BR maroon are the Second Corridor, Composite Corridor, the Brake Composite Corridor, the Brake Second Corridor, and the First Corridor. Well, that's quite the selection, isn't it? But we're not done just yet. How about something totally different next? How about TT? Or more precisely, TTTE. That's right, we have some exciting new characters joining Thomas the Tank Engine in 00 scale this winter. Joining the locomotive lineup, we have 2 superstars who have been around since the start. You guessed it, it's number 2, Edward the Blue Engine. And Edward's not alone, as he's joined by number 3, Henry the Green Engine. Moving away from the tracks, and we're delighted to be adding Harold the Helicopter to the range. And who could forget Bertie the Bus? We're sure these new characters will prove a hit with all the Thomas and Friends fans out there, and what's more, they're arriving this month, so be sure to add your favourite to your Christmas list. Is there more, I hear you ask? Well yes, there sure is, just a little bit more. And now it's time for a change of scale. I think I'm going to need a bit of help for this one. So now I'm joined by Gary Boyd Hope from our research and development team.
Hello.
And Gary might be a new face to viewers of the Batman videos, but certainly not a stranger to the world of steam and railways in general. Gary, are you?
Absolutely not. I've worked through the railway press. I've been volunteering on railways since I was a kid, and particularly on the Welsh narrow gauge, which is a bit of a clue as to what we're announcing today.
Should we take a look?
Indeed.
Best known for their work on the famous Festiniog Railway during the Preservation era, the locomotives Linda and Blanche came to the Festiniog line in the early 1960s from the former Penryn Quarry Railway. Although much modified during the past 6 decades, the Ladies, as they're affectionately known, remain an invaluable part of the railway's operational fleet today. The 2 locomotives, together with their elder sibling Charles, were built by the Hunslet Engine Company of Leeds in the late 19th century, and spent their days hauling slate trains from the vast Penryn Quarry complex at Coedy Park, near Bethesda, to the coast at Port Penryn, on the North Wales coast. Charles had arrived from Hunslet in 1882 and presented a somewhat unconventional appearance, featuring steeply inclined cylinders and the connecting rods located on the inside of the coupling rods rather than in the more traditional position on the outside. Linda and Blanche followed 11 years later, and while ostensibly built to the same design, the Ladies did incorporate some subtle design differences when compared to Charles. All 3 were built with half-height rear cab backsheets, but all later gained full-height cab backsheets, along with replacement tanks, sandboxes and other improvements during their time on the Penryn line. Charles was eventually withdrawn in the mid-1950s, but Linda and Blanche soldered on until 1962 to work the last steam services over the Penryn system. All 3 were then offered for sale, Linda going initially on loan to the Festiniog Railway in July of that year, with Blanche following in 1963 when they were both purchased by the railway. Charles, meanwhile, was preserved as a static exhibit at the Penryn Castle Museum, where it can still be seen today.
Wow, quite a different Hunslet there, Gary, from what we've all been getting familiar with in recent years. Obviously the Quarry Hunslet, been in the Batman narrow gauge range for a few years. And don't worry, they are arriving before the end of the year, the Quarry Hunslets. We've not forgotten about those, certainly not. But something a bit bigger that's been going on in the works at the same time, Gary.
That's right, Richard. We've produced the Festiniog Railway's double fairlies, which have been a great success for us. And if you're going to produce another 009 scale locomotive to follow that, I don't want to bandy the words iconic around too much, but Linda and Blanche particularly are some of the most beloved locomotives on the Welsh narrow gauge, and they were the logical choice for us to do next.
Yeah, well, it's clearly a cracking model that we've got in front of us here. Ready to go, pretty much, I believe?
Yeah, absolutely. They're on their way as we speak.
Super. So can you tell us a bit about the models themselves, Gary? We know about the history briefly, but the models themselves look very much like the Ladies back in the Penryn days, certainly.
Yes, I think that's the key point to get across, is these are the locomotives as they worked at Penryn and when they first arrived on the Festiniog in 1962-63.
And Charles is still in that condition in Penryn Castle Museum?
That's right, that's as it's preserved now.
That, weren't they?
Absolutely.
Wow.
So, but yes, our design team has, as we're now known for, pulled out all the stops to get this right. And so the locomotives feature a wealth of detail, just like the double fairlies.
Yeah, certainly very heavy models.
They are a lot of die-cast components in these.
Yeah, I think we've got a die-cast tank there.
Die-cast tanks, frames, and a cab floor.
Yeah, it's certainly going to haul a heavy train, even though they're just the 040 wheel formation there.
Yeah.
Like the prototype, they were built for hauling trains heavier than Quarry Hunslets and the smaller locomotives, weren't they?
Yeah, indeed. And we've incorporated all-wheel pickup on these. They've got the cordless motor, which is really good for us. So you'll get a nice lot of haulage out of that.
Next 18 DCC.
Absolutely,
socket.
yeah, that's all fitted. Each locomotive's got a speaker fitted as standard.
Okay.
So whether it's a sound fitted example or not, it comes with its speaker.
So we can do these with sound fitted.
Yes.
Maybe I come at the same time.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Brakes. Handbrake off. Thank you.
I don't know if you noticed there, Richard, in our video clip, that the locomotives feature firebox flicker. It's the first time we've incorporated that.
Yeah, I've not seen that on any of our narrow gauge models before, so that's a lovely little feature. Behind the firebox door?
Yes, that's a very important note. The locos do have a posable opening firebox door, so it may first appear when you buy one, try it, that your firebox flicker's not working, but you do have to open the door to make it.
It's an astonishing level of detail to get that inside the cab, isn't it?
Indeed, yes.
I know that the models have separate etch plates, both nameplates and builder's plates supplied if you want to fit those as well.
Yep.
Inside the cab we've obviously got those features of the lighting and the firebox door, but we've got separate gauge glasses, we've got the regulator in there, the handbrake and the reversing lever, all fitted separately. I mean the decoration's exquisite as you'd come to expect from Batman.
Yeah, we've done a full range of early to late liveries, so from Blanche in its early style, sort of 1930s livery, to Charles as it was in the later years and as preserved as you mentioned earlier, and of course Linda in its sort of, I think, careworn rather than weathered appearance.
I mean the pristine locos, the quite a shine to the domes that's standing out to me here.
Yeah, that's a new brass paint that we're using, which is one of the first times we've incorporated it onto a 009, and it really adds an element of realism.
Yeah, it's got a real shine to it. It's lovely, that.
It scales down very, very nicely.
Yeah, we've seen the different liveries, but there's some different tooling features too across the three models.
Yeah, absolutely. As many of you will notice, Charles has a different cab front on it. It's got square spectacles rather than round, so that's one option. There's different sandbox options. I think we've incorporated 3, so Blanche doesn't have sandboxes. Linda has them in front of her tank, and Charles has them on the side.
Yeah, it's got like sort of saddles over his saddle tank. It's,
yes.
A strange appearance, but we can only emulate the prototype.
Yeah, so and also there's Charles has displacement lubricators above its cylinders, others don't. So there's other things as well, like NEM coupling pockets, which come as standard.
Yeah,
so.
Great. And is there a difference on the saddle tanks themselves? We've got 2 varieties, I believe.
That's right, yes. Blanche comes with a riveted tank, which was replaced later on, sort of 1940s. So Charles and Linda both have the welded tanks with no rivets.
Wonderful. Should we take a closer look at the 3 models and their exact details and features?
Yeah, let's go.
The 3 models of the Penryn mainline Hunslets depict each locomotive as they looked during the various stages of their pre-preservation careers at Penryn. We will look at each in turn in chronological livery order, beginning with Blanche. The model represents the locomotive in early condition, painted black with red and pale grey lining, and 4 line panels on the cab backsheet. It depicts Blanche as it ran after 1934, once it gained a full-height cab backsheet. A distinguishing feature of this model is the riveted tank, which the original locomotive carried right up until the late 1940s when it was replaced by a welded tank, a feature of all 3 locomotives today. Those with the technical know-how of steam locomotives will note that the locomotive is equipped for right-hand drive, as were all 3 when originally built. However, both Linda and Blanche have been converted to left-hand drive since arriving on the Festiniog Railway. A feature of this model, and the model of Charles, is the use of a new specially sourced brass paint, which has been used to great effect on the domes, whistles, and highly detailed cab interiors. The finish of this paint faithfully captures the appearance of polished brass, even at such a small scale, and further enhances the realism of this exquisite model. Next up is Charles, presented in its late Penryn condition and essentially as preserved at Penryn Castle. It carries the post-1936 livery of black, lined in red and sky blue, with 3-panel lining on the cab backsheet and a brass band around the chimney. It also features a welded tank fitted in the 1940s. A distinctive feature of Charles, which instantly sets it apart from his sisters, are the square cab spectacles, which have been faithfully reproduced on our model. Other notable differences include the shape and position of the sandboxes, which are located on the tank sides on Charles rather than on the tank fronts as on Linda, and a slightly different pattern of smokebox handrail. Charles's polished displacement lubricators are also featured above each cylinder. Again, the brass paint has been used on the dome and inside the cab, where a pair of clear gauge glasses and separately fitted regulator and reverser complete the look. The last of the trio is Linda, which comes in its final Penryn condition with a weathered version of the black livery with red and blue lining. Like Charles, this model also has a welded tank, so it's appropriate for the period between 1951, when Linde received its replacement tank, to July 1962. The weathering on this model has been created to give the appearance of a locomotive that is careworn rather than dirty, and which has been regularly cleaned with an oily rag. Unlike the other two models, the brasswork on Linde is duller, suggesting regular use and cursory cleaning. Unlike Blanche and Charles, the Motion has a blackened rather than burnished steel finish. This is how the locomotive looked when it arrived on the Festiniog Railway in 1962.
So there you have it, Richard. That's our trio of mainline Hunslets, each of which is available with or without sound.
Yeah, so like all of our sound fitting models, of course you can use it on analogue or DCC. On analogue control you'll get normal running sounds and any automated sounds when you apply power. You'll also get the firebox lighting, but on DCC you of course have the option to switch on and off the various sound functions independently. Now, as we said earlier, these models are on the way now and should be with Bachmann Stockists this month. That's November 2022. I'm sure, given their preservation lives, Gary, we've obviously got Charles as he appears in Penryn Castle Museum, but the ladies have gone on to have somewhat of a different appearance in their Festiniog years. I imagine a few people will be wanting to see those too.
Yes, and what I can say is we have incorporated provision into the tooling that if demand is there later on, we can produce the locomotives as they are running today.
Great, so we've got that option to go on and do the tooling a bit further from what we've already got and get those models out if people want to see them, really.
Yeah, come on.
Super. Well, look, thank you for joining me today.
It's a pleasure.
Lovely to have you here to launch this new tooling project, and I'm sure we'll see you again in the future.
You will. Goodbye.
Well, that really is all for today, but we hope you'll agree that we've ended our 2022 British Railway announcements with a bang. We look forward to seeing many of you at the events we'll be attending this month, where you can see all these new items for yourself, and then we'll be back next year for more British Railway announcements. In the meantime, please contact your local Bachmann stockist to secure any of the products featured in this video, all of which are due to arrive on retailers' shelves in the next 3 months. Don't forget to like and share this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to ensure you don't miss out on future videos and announcements. Until next time, thanks for watching, goodbye.